It's South Louisiana in June, and it is a horrible rainy day. In fact, in some areas, it's already flooding. We've had rain since about 3 a.m. And this is the outdoor services and lawn care company's worst nightmare whenever we get flooding every other day. Really a challenge to rework the schedules, to know when it's going to dry up. Especially lately, it's been pretty heavy flooding in between the sun. Makes the ground too wet to walk on, too wet to work on. If you are doing excavation work, you have to pump the water out, and it's still not going to dry for a while. So really a challenge for landscape businesses with these different weather patterns that are coming in, and such heavy rain. The good thing is, let's try to find a silver lining in everything, is that there are ways to design and construct landscapes and yards differently. And, these different weather patterns just prove that, we're probably going to have to start doing things differently. We need to soak in the water where it lands, on the property that it lands, because underground drainage can only handle so much. Underground drainage is very expensive. It's very disruptive. Pulling up roads and properties to be able to put it in place. It can be really effective, but remember, you still have these choke points on the surface that mean that can lead to flooding while the stormwater is getting to the drains. In fact, at the Sync office, our next door neighbor had her car flooded in April. It got into the floor above the level of the floor of the car and flooded her car. And that was just a heavy rainstorm with all of the rain going towards the gutters. She was parked next to the gutters, but really all the rain from the surrounding blocks, got funneled to her car, unfortunately. So really, one of the stories that we published in our spring edition of Synced, and also it went out in our newsletter in June, is how can stormwater be sexy? This can really change your philosophy on design and construction by looking at where the water lands on a property and helping it soak in, and doing it in creative ways and making it beautiful. And yes, very sexy. So you should check out the podcast that we did with Todd Blossom, and the project that they constructed in Oregon recently. That is pretty awesome. So let's think differently about, how we look at stormwater and capturing it where it lands and soaking it in. That means the grass should not be at a level that's higher than the hardscaping. But also we need thirsty plants that have deeper roots than grass. So keep your grass in one big chunk and have plants that give those deeper roots, soaking in the stormwater, helping replenish our drinking aquifers for years to come. So let's think differently about our landscapes. Thanks.